So I'm Rose McDonough, and I'm a retired home ec teacher, and I just want to teach you a real basic pizza sauce recipe to go with your homemade pizza dough that you may or may not have made already. I've made mine already. It's ready to go right here, but oh no, now I don't have any pizza sauce. That's okay. I have a jar of tomato sauce, a can. So I'm going to start with the can of tomato sauce. And I'm going to pour it in here, and I'm going to use the rubber scraper because I want to get every last bit out of this can. Favorite tool, in case you didn't know, by the end of 3 videos that you watch, you will in fact know that. I have that on there. This is not what pizza sauce looks like. Pizza sauce has beautiful colors to it because it has other things added, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to add in a little bit of sugar that I've already pre-measured out because I have a larger container of it. So I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to go get my Parmesan cheese, and I need a whole tablespoon. That's really not going to fit in there really well. I think I'm going to use a teaspoon instead. How many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? 1, 2, 3 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. If you never learned that before, you're going to learn that now. I need a half of a teaspoon of oregano. So I'm going to find my half teaspoon. Doesn't smell too bad, but it's dried herb. So we're going to put this into the palm of my hand, and I'm going to crunch it to break the oils loose and make it more flavorful. And then I'm going to add the oregano to there. I also need a little bit of pepper, not a whole lot, 1/8 of a teaspoon. This is where it comes in handy that you should at some point in your life try to learn a little bit about fractions. So I've got a teaspoon, a half of a teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon. I only need 1/8, which means I'm going to reach in, measure it out, and shake it down till I have about half. If you don't really like pepper or you like spicier, you can choose in fact to add some hot pepper flakes to it if that would be something you would prefer. I need a little bit of salt. I know nobody loves salt, but I like salt in some things. I'm not using a lot. I'm using a half of a teaspoon. That's all the salt we're using. This sauce will not make you thirsty later because there's not that much salt in there, and somebody might say, my gosh, a half of a teaspoon's a lot. Overall, I don't think that you'll find in the taste that it's that much. The last things I need to add are my oils and my garlic. I can take a clove of garlic, and if you were in my class, I would be teaching you how to do this. Peel the skin off of it, mince it up, use the back of your knife to press it down to get everything off of it. But I just rarely do that. I always buy minced garlic because we go through so much in our house. How much minced garlic? A clove is about a half of a teaspoon. So I'm going to add the garlic in here, and then lastly, I will add the oil in. And the oil, it seems like you need a lot. It's just want to make sure how much oil. It's a whole tablespoon. I like to use olive oil. If you prefer vegetable oil or canola oil, you use whatever, but olive oil is a better oil. I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to go back and get my rubber scraper, and I'm going to start stirring it very lightly. I use this technique with my middle finger, my pointer finger, and my thumb. It helps me to control the bowl. If you start teaching other people that way when you're working with kids, it surely makes it a lot easier. The difference in the smell, it just smells like pizza sauce now. Just adding the oil, adding the oregano, and the Parmesan cheese, which is really important to add to there. Once I've added this in and I feel like I have it really well stirred, I use that folding technique a little bit again, where I go under to make sure that I don't have anything that had fallen to the bottom. Earlier, I had made a pizza dough, and I'm ready to go. I want to show you that 1 small can, 1 cup, will be more than enough sauce for this. In fact, you might choose not to put all of the sauce on. Maybe you only want to use a half of a cup of it. Let's start out with this and see what we think. There's an easy technique. I have my rubber scraper. This rubber scraper happens to be slightly rounded. Use the back of your rubber scraper and go to help get the pizza spread around. It's a lot easier than trying to use a knife. I keep turning it, and I can actually see the chunks of garlic in here, even though we mixed it all up. And I think I might need a little bit more, and maybe the rest of it you're going to save to add in extra, that when you're serving the pizza, maybe you can use it for dipping in at a later time. All right, I'm almost done with this part, and then we're going to sauce it. I'm going to put some pepperoni on it, and we're going to get it in the oven. Again, if I'm baking this, I'm going at 425, somewhere between 13 to 15 minutes. You just have to keep checking it and make sure it's done on the bottom. Looks beautiful. Again, you could add some other things that you wanted to it. If you wanted to add some parsley in now, crunch it, sprinkle parsley. Maybe some basil, crunch it, sprinkle it over top of it. But this is all I'm going to do at this point. And then I'm going to use some shredded cheddar cheese. And I'm going to get my pizza cheesed up. And I love to have extra cheese, I really do. But because it's a little bit of a softer dough, too much extra cheese and the dough can't handle a whole 3 pounds of cheese put on it. Okay, it's got some cheese, so maybe a little bit more into this corner and that corner. We're good. And then you want to start putting some pepperoni on it. Once you're finished, pop that into the oven and you will be happy to eat this in just a few minutes. This is an easy thing that you can do on a Saturday afternoon when you've slept in and you don't know what to have for lunch that day. Maybe you want to have it on a weeknight because you need something quickly. If in fact that's what you want to do, anything can be made ahead of time and put into the refrigerator. Thank you for watching. I hope that you come back again soon and see some of the other things that we have in mind to do.